So Marvel, as we all know, has been very inconsistent as of late. Sure, some of their movies have actually been really solid. Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Wakanda Forever. We've had some really solid films, and don't even forget Guardians 3. Oh my god, that was a great movie. But anyways, we've also had some really atrocious movies alongside of those. For every Guardians 3, Wakanda Forever, we are also getting a Thor Love and Thunder or an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Really, in this post-Endgame landscape, Marvel hasn't been able to seem to figure out who they are. But with Thunderbolts, we are seeing a possible return to form. And I know we have said we are so back for countless different Marvel movies. And every single time, the following film or the one after that is an absolute stinker. But this time, there I feel like is more faith than before, because we know everything that's coming out. We've seen a lot of what's coming out, and it's a lot more trustworthy, to me at least, and I think to a lot of other people, with Fantastic Four, Doomsday with the Russos, Spider-Man with Dustin Daniel Cretton, and then another Avengers movie. You know, Marvel could be coming back. And no, this movie is not just pretty good because it doesn't over-rely on Easter eggs and because the end credit scene is actually decent. Like, the film itself is genuinely just really well put together, from the theme of mental health that kicks you in the ass from the get-go and in the opening line of this movie, and does not let go of you until the end. You really get to delve into the mental health of some of these characters, especially Yelena in this film, and kind of see like the real humanity behind that just super person masquerade all of these people put on. And you see a lot more humanity in this film than I think you've really seen in any Marvel movie since like maybe Iron Man 3. There's still a lot of comedy in this film, but it's even that is a little different, just because you either have self-deprecating comedy that still perpetuates the themes of mental health, or the comedy is specifically for certain characters that are using it to sort of hide their actual inner turmoils. If you've seen the film, you probably know one specific character that I'm thinking of who's just a huge goofball in this film, but that is because that character is really going through it and is hiding those problems with his comedy. And it works so much more well than your average Marvel film in terms of its comedy, where, you know, it's just out of the blue, pointless, and takes away from every other aspect of the movie. This film is also a lot more practical than what we are used to with Marvel. The sets and the stunts are actually like happening in real. Like, yes, you have visual effects here, but those visual effects are just coming in smaller doses. Therefore, they themselves are better because you're not overworking the VFX artists as much, but also you get to appreciate like real practical imagery. You know, and I just think that that's pretty special here, and makes for certain moments like the opening jump off a skyscraper and car chase scenes to work so well, because you can tell that those things actually happen. Like, that is how those things are supposed to look, and they look fantastic in this movie. Not to mention that, you know, the cinematography, the score, like the actual foundations of this film are just really well done. It's not that indie kind of film, like how that one trailer was trying to say, that it's like an A24 Marvel movie. Like, that's not what it is, but it's a film that cares. You know, it's still a blockbuster. It still has its big VFX action-y moments, but it's a movie that cares about its characters, it cares about its theme, it cares about its story, and it's not gonna stick to normal Marvel stereotypes that could possibly take away from those. The ending of this film, as you might have already heard, is not this big action set piece. You already get a bunch of big action set pieces in this movie. The ending itself is so much more than that, at least in my opinion. The team chemistry here is also just really solid. They are definitely trying for the Thunderbolts to be like the next Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm totally buying it because they just mesh really well together. And I was worried about 3 super soldiers being on the same team and that would just feel a little pointless. But they all operate very differently, not just in terms of personality, but how they fight. So it actually works. And like, yeah, the team could be a little bit more interesting in terms of power dynamics, but I still think it's really good. And I think that they all just work so well together. Taskmaster too, I mean, great addition to this team. Really helps pull things together. And in terms of like the main actors, you know, you got Florence Pugh as Yelena, who just gives a fantastic performance for her. You know, in a Marvel movie, you can easily just like shoo your performance in and get the paycheck and get out of there. And people that are a fan of you will still love you because, you know, you are who you are and you're in this big Marvel movie, like that's cool. But Florence Pugh is not doing that, even though she is this famous actor. No, like she gives an all-timer for Marvel performances, I think, like single movie Marvel performances. Like I'm really wowed by how great she is in this film, and it's genuinely like one of the best performances of the year so far, as well as Lewis Pullman as Bob and Sentry in this film. He is also really just excellent, and just the two of them really just navigate those mental health themes so well, and they are why you actually care. Without those performances being as good as they are, this movie would just not work nearly as well. I do, however, wish we got more Bucky. One, I do think that Sebastian Stan was shooing in a little bit in terms of his performance. I just wasn't really getting much from him, at least on my first watch, but also just there wasn't much going on with him. He is this outsider in the Thunderbolts group as this mainstay Marvel character, and I think that works really well to have this member of the old guard a part of this very new team. But unfortunately, his performance is just kind of lackluster. He doesn't really get much to do. And that's because, like, he's a congressman. You never really know why he chose to be a congressman. He just is one. And then suddenly, like, he doesn't really like being a congressman, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to being a superhero. Like, I kind of wish that we got to spend more time with him struggling and got to spend more time maybe even seeing him with, you know, his district and the people that he's trying to serve as a congressman. Pretty much all I got for him, and really all I got for this film. You know, it's a really solid Marvel movie. I do want to give it a rewatch. Not only because I enjoyed it, but also because I just got back from London yesterday. I did my semester abroad. That's why this is my first video in God knows how long. And, you know, I went to go and see this movie right after my flight. By the end of it, I had been up for like 23 straight hours. I was exhausted. I still really enjoyed the film, but I want to go and re-enjoy this film when I'm a little less exhausted. So for now, we're going to be giving it 3.5 stars. So what about all of you? What did you think of Thunderbolts? Do you agree with my takes? Do you disagree with me? I would really love to hear what you got to say in the comments down below and start a discussion. It's great being back making movie reviews again. I'm excited to get rolling with this and just jump right back in where I left off, and hopefully that'll be all right with you guys. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care.